Well, it's hard to believe, but in less than a year, I've already hit 25,000 miles on my 2021 Chevy Silverado 2500HD. It's been a lot of towing, a lot of commuting, a lot of traveling to other states, and a lot of dirt roads, mostly the one I live on. So in this video, we're going to go over the truck itself, and we're going to talk about what I've liked, what I haven't liked. We're going to go over some of the gripes from my 10,000 mile update video, and we'll talk a little bit about the maintenance and any issues I've had with the truck. And I'll also show you a couple tips and tricks that you might not already know. First thing we're going to check out is the interior. Now say it's been sitting in the sun for a while, and you really don't want to get in a hot truck. Press the unlock button once, and then press it again and hold it. And if you'll see, the windows roll down. Now that should air the truck out nicely. Let's go check out the driver's seat. So my truck is a custom. If you're looking at an LT or LTZ or maybe even a high country, you have the option of getting leather seats. Not the case in a custom. These are the only seats you could get, and they're not even electric. They're manual. Although in 2022, you can definitely get electric seats on a custom. But my concern with these is for the bigger folk like myself. This edge of the seat, as you can see, the cloth is wrinkled here. This is from getting in and out of the truck. When you get out of the truck and you drop all the way down to the ground, which is quite a distance, you end up rolling the lip of the seat, and that's what's causing this. Hopefully they have replacement seat bunds, and you know, once this eventually tears, I'm sure it will, I'll be able to get a new seat bund. We'll see. So in the 10,000 mile update, I mentioned that the seats stain pretty easy, and they still do, but I found a way to clean them, and it works great. Now this video is not sponsored by anybody, but I tell you what, this Bissell Spot Clean Pro sure does do a good job of keeping the interior of my truck clean. One of the biggest issues I had with the truck was blind spots. It took me forever to get the side mirrors situated the way I wanted them. When it comes to blind spots and being able to see things that are behind you, one of the problems with this truck is those rear seat headrests, which brings us to another little tip that, well, I should have known this one. Now these headrests really get in the way of being able to see out your rear window. Now you could take them out. There's buttons right down here. Removing them could be a problem if you have people riding your back seat all the time. If you get in an accident, it's definitely going to be a case of whiplash without this headrest. So just press this button. That's a much better look, and when someone gets in, they can just put the headrest back up. While we're talking about the rear seat, here's another quick tip. If you hit the home button on your radio, and then hit settings, vehicle, rear seat reminder, and turn that on, every time you open that rear door and put something in your back seat, when you go to get out, it's going to remind you that it's back there. Now I realize that's made for people with small children, but it works great for us old folks too. So I guess while we're here at the radio, I should address the issue that I had in the last video, which was I'm not happy with the way this radio works when you plug in a Android and an iPhone at the same time. I'm still not happy with it. The only solution I could come up with is I plug my Android in to the radio itself, put a USB cigarette lighter over here that I plug my iPhone into, and any other device that I need to charge. I realize most people probably don't have two phones, but if you have a significant other or a kid that wants to plug their phone in and charge it, I'd recommend going this route so you don't have phones fighting each other for supremacy of the radio. But this does bring me to another tip. The ignition's turned off, but we still have power to this accessory port. That might be a problem for you. If it is, I've got the fix. I've already loosened this a little bit, but you want to pull this off. This will get you to your fuse box over on this side. This should be the same on multiple years of this vehicle. But this one right here, if you pull that out, so with this out, you can see this is dead. If you take a good look, you'll see there are 3 prongs. From the factory, it comes on this prong and this prong. However, we're going to put it on this prong and this prong. And what that's going to do is, that's going to enable it so that accessory port is only powered when the vehicle is turned on. As you can see, I put the 50 amp fuse on the other 2 prongs. Our accessory port is still dead, but if I turn the key, there we go, power. Turn it off, no more power. Personally, I like it to have power all the time, so I'm going to put the fuse back the way it was. But if you're running something that you want to leave plugged in all the time, and you just want it to turn off with the vehicle, swapping that around is the answer. Another question I get asked a lot is, what's the fuel economy like on this thing? Well, as you can see for trip 1, which I haven't reset in over 13,000 miles, it's averaged 18.3 miles per gallon. So in 25,000 miles, I pretty much had no real issues with the truck. Other than that one time I got a flat tire and then another flat tire almost immediately afterwards, which actually let me know that the thumping noise I complained about 15,000 miles ago is not the spare tire. I had no spare tire underneath the vehicle for a while, and I still had the thumping noise, so not the spare tire. Still don't know what it is. Still not too concerned about it. Let's talk about the trailer hitch for a moment. Now, this truck comes with a 2.5-inch insert instead of the standard 2-inch insert that you might see on a lot of trucks. But it does come with an adapter, which is what's actually on this, that adapts it down to a standard 2-inch insert. You just put this in and pin it in. When I bought my truck, it was under the rear seat. When you're towing heavy loads with your Duramax, it's got a brake controller, it's got exhaust brakes. Use all that stuff. Play it safe. While I'm back here, this reminds me. These trucks don't come with this black lettering. I put this on here. I think it looks great. I did a video on that, which I'll link in the description. These letters are really cheap. I got them from Amazon for, I don't know, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, something like that. They're dirt cheap. A couple other items I want to show you because this is a custom. It does not come with running boards. I put these running boards on here. I had someone comment wanting to know about the hardware on it. So you can see they're not rusty. They're holding up. All the hardware is holding up just fine. All the hardware is holding up just fine. The running boards themselves are holding up just fine. And they get a lot of abuse on this road. There's a video on these running boards as well. Another item note, and I'm glad to see that they're holding up. Wheel wells do not come on the customs, these rear wheel wells. These are made by Chevrolet. They're an accessory you can buy and put on. Yes, I have a video on those too. But as you can see, they are holding up just fine. What about maintenance? Well, I've done several oil changes. Well, I didn't do them. The dealer did them. When I got it, I got free oil changes for life. So at 10 quarts of oil change, I let them do it. At about 23,000 or so, it told me it needed a new fuel filter. I went ahead and did that myself. Again, there's a video on my channel for that. But it wasn't that hard. It's underneath the truck, right by the gas tank. Super easy. I'd love to tell you how many gallons of Blue Def I've been through, but I lost track. I live on a dirt road, so that air filter is getting changed real soon. So is the cabin filter. Shows our air filter life at 70%, but I think it's just doing that based on hours, not on how much dirt's actually in the filter, which I'm sure is quite a bit. Also coming up, I'm going to go ahead and rotate these tires around. They are wearing even all the way around, so I'm happy about that. But I'm going to go ahead and rotate them anyways. I may have mentioned in the 10,000 mile video that the brakes are a little wonky. So this has Hydro Boost braking, so people do complain of brake creep and just other things with the brakes. I've gotten used to them, so they're no longer a problem. It did take a while. And one of them is now making a squealing noise. But I want to say, according to the truck, that the brakes are just fine. Brake pad life, 92% and 95%. And that's in 26,000 miles. That does not seem right to me. When I rotate the tires, I'm going to take a good look at them. I guess there's one other thing I should address. Some people don't like this front end. I love it. Look, the reason they don't like it is because the headlights are low. Trust me, people driving cars really appreciate that these headlights are down at the bottom instead of up at the top. Because when they're up at the top, they blind you at night. So it was actually very thoughtful of Chevrolet to do that. Here's my final thoughts on my truck. After 25,000 miles, I love it as much as the day I bought it. Don't regret it at all. And I wish I didn't have that payment, but the thing's great. If you're thinking about getting one, do it. Like, subscribe. I'll see y'all down the road. For the record, it's 26,198 miles, 766.5 hours.